Hi guys. Yeah, this is part one of two of our third episode. It's a long recording, so we decided to break it down into two parts. Hope you enjoy the rest of this episode, and do check out the second part when it comes out. Hey, welcome to KONGJIAOWEY, episode 3. This is Yituan,
This is Jem.
Hi guys.
and yeah, we have a special guest today,
Hey.
Hi
Shaida.
guys.
Say hi.
Hi guys. I'm Shah. Shahida.
Yeah, so she's a longtime friend of ours. Shout out, we all from Hai Sing last time. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have her here today because Shah is actually on the front lines of this whole COVID situation. Right, Shah? You're down at Expo, right?
Yeah, I'm in one of the community isolation facilities in Singapore.
Yeah. So we
Expo.
got some interesting, juicy stuff for you.
I cannot tell you all anything actually. Nothing juicy, but I'm happy to discuss me caring for these patients and some general opinions I might have during my few weeks there.
Damn. You cannot talk about it.
A secret.
Okay. Okay, Shah, thanks for coming on the show. I
Bye.
think,
Bye.
yeah, that will be all of episode 3. Okay, see y'all. Paka!
Roll the credits.
No lah, that's not the only reason Shah is here. On top of that,
Shah is also Malay.
What?
And,
Whoa.
wait, what?
Whoa.
What?
Are we going there?
Yes, we're going there. Giswan, do people know your race? I think from the name they should figure out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're clearly
I'm
Mexican.
African.
Okay. Ken, yeah, so
Yamon.
we have that one Jamaican, right? Yeah, so Gee's obviously Chinese represent, and yours dearly, Jeremy, is Indian Eurasian. So we got all the 4 races in Singapore here. So we're gonna get into some racial stuff today.
Touchy shit.
Ah, yeah, Sedition
Touchy
Act.
stuff.
Bring it on.
So if you don't hear from us next week, you know we would have gotten kidnapped by people in men in white. But
So,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. So we digress.
Yes. Yeah. So Gee, you wanna tell them a bit more about what's happening today?
Yeah, okay, so we first gonna get into an interview with Shah, talking about her experience in the front lines at Expo, like the things the things she's seen, experienced, the people she's interacted with. Then we'll lead up into some of the things we've seen in the recent weeks, shaming, blaming, all the racial stuff. That's kind of the main bulk of what we have to talk about today. And then we'll go into how we ought to deal with this situation instead of gathering in front of the television and all singing out of tune. Yeah, so that's a rough overview of what this show is going to be about. And before we get into this whole lesson proper, yeah, I think it would be better for Shah to have a self-introduction so our viewers can know who she is, what she's been doing, how she got into this job as a hero in white.
Yeah, sure. Interesting life. Come, tell us more about your life.
I honestly don't know where to start. You want me to talk about which life?
Let's start from
Yeah,
okay lah.
right.
I mean, we don't need to go all the way back lah. I mean, you are a trained nurse, right?
Yeah, I studied nursing in NUS, graduated in 2012. I started working at Kutek Wat Hospital for about 3.5 years. Then my life changed, but let's not go there.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, let's go there. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
I think it's pretty interesting, man. Like what you do. Why did you leave nursing? Tell us more, man.
I wouldn't say that I left nursing, more of I put it on hold because I really wanted to do something for myself before I became tied down with commitments and had more responsibilities in my career as a nurse. So I left before it became more serious. So where did I go? I actually resigned from nursing in 2016 and pursued something entirely different, and that was diving. So it went all the way up to becoming a dive instructor. And actually, you guys visited me, yeah? You guys
Yes.
I didn't.
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't.
Guy wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a dive master at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of switched my whole career, became a dive instructor, and I worked in Thailand for about 2 years. And that's just 5 of the 2 years that I've been overseas. So I've been to other places, like I've done liverboard divings. So I became a dive guide on liverboards in places like Palau and Turks and Caicos, that's in the Caribbean, as well in Indonesia for a bit. Yeah, Anambas, with one of the yachts based out of Singapore. So I've been
Nice.
a lot of places these last few years.
Jealous.
So
Yeah.
you got COVID,
Me?
No.
I got
Wait, but you actually quarantined, right? Like you had to serve the stay home notice for 14 days.
during the time when the government put the stay home notice, I was still in Thailand. I got a text from my aunt who works in SIA saying that a lot of the fleets were going to be grounded soon, so I should go home. And then I had to make a decision at that point whether to stay on the island. I was actually living on an island called Koh Tao, or come home. I decided to come home. So I served my 14-day notice, and then from that day after I was done, I started working.
Right. So how did you find your way back into nursing or the healthcare thing?
I never really left nursing, so a lot of my jobs overseas were contract basis. So that meant that I could come home every few months to Singapore and spend I would say about 3 months each year staying in Singapore. So I used those time to practice my nursing skills. So I did a lot of locum nursing, worked in a community center for a bit, did a lot of home care. But and then I did a lot of locum as well, which was going back to hospitals and then being as agency nurses.
Right. I remember you telling us you were in Mount E for a bit
Yeah,
and the
Mount E,
situation there.
Gleneagles. So now that I'm back here, I'm obviously doing some of these nursing jobs more, and I found myself in the expo.
So how did you find the gig, or did the gig
How?
find you?
So there are different ways of looking for jobs. One is through the agencies. There's a lot of agencies in Singapore. Another way that nurses can look for jobs is going online. So there's JobStreet. Put up my resume, and there was a long list of areas that you can choose to work in, and I found something that said East Side. It wasn't very specific at that point. It didn't say Expo, so I just clicked East because that's where I live.
Yeah, East I represent.
Hey.
And then the next day, the person called me already.
Because
Okay.
it's quite an emergency, right? I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah,
short of hand.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, when I came back to Singapore, right after my stay home notice, I was, would I say unemployed? I was without a job for about 2 weeks. There was no need for part-time nurses in the private hospitals. And that was because the government stopped all this medical tourism from coming in. So that meant the occupancy rate of patients in all these private hospitals went down. They obviously
Right.
didn't need us, so there wasn't actually much job for us in private nursing. And then obviously you know that this foreign worker dormitories, the numbers jumped. It literally just started like maybe about 2.5 weeks ago, and that was when they started needing all of us again. So there's a whole list of all these part-time nurses, freelance nurses. They are now all, majority of them are now in Expo, and that's because of the seriously aggressive testing that MOH has done in all the dormitories. I don't know how many tests they've done in each dorms, but even those that don't look ill, they test.
All right. I read that somewhere that they're actually doing that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually saw that on TikTok. Yes, I am a 30-year-old on TikTok.
Hey, no shame, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, they were like uploading videos and stuff, and some of the Bangladeshi workers, they were like, Singapore is awesome because, they're doing so much testing, and they're actually, bothering to respond to the situation.
Yeah. Hey, who was it that mentioned Malaysia? they Celine, right? She
Oh
was-
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah, it's like a dorm in KL with
Okay.
like foreign workers and everything. Then the government just stepped up and say, they are not our citizens. They are not our problem. Thank you very much.
Oh,
That's the end of
Yeah.
the. That's the end of the.
And they're just
the
gonna let the
interview.
embassy handle that. What the hell, man? Right?
I heard about that too, but I never read an article verifying this information. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I don't think we're gonna we're gonna get our hands on that one.
Nah.
But who knows?
Maybe it's
Who
fake
knows?
news.
Maybe.
No.
Okay, so what I heard was that there have been fences that have been built around the foreign worker dormitory. Basically, they are kept isolated within the compounds. The Malaysian government doesn't wanna have anything to do with them, and not even providing them with food or anything like that. So the only way the foreign workers can get any help or any supplies or any aid is through their own embassies, and so they're left to deal with that themselves.
Well, it means if their own government's embassy is not reactive or also shut down, then gone case ah.
Yeah, that's why. Either that or the only thing that they can depend on are people willing to I guess donate, or if they have any charitable organizations helping them out. But yeah,
Shit, right? It feels like you're in a war.
Right.
yeah, like
you're being fenced up. Yeah.
zombie apocalypse, and yeah,
It's like
like these
World
are
War
the
Z
suspected.
level
Yeah, yeah,
stuff, man.
yeah. Reminds me of that scene in World War Z, actually, the part where they reach Jerusalem, I think, and they had these like giant walls just built around Jerusalem. Do y'all remember that?
Yep.
I only know Germany, where they separate the east and west.
The,
Oh, the Berlin Wall.
the
Yeah,
Berlin
the-
Wall.
Right. I mean, true colors of humanity is bound to come out
Right.
when these types of situations go down.
So during this period when you were at Expo, right, are there things that you saw that kind of jumped out at you, like shit that needs to be taken care of, or some really fucked up thing that happened there?
Man, actually, honestly, no, not at all. I'm like 100% impressed with what has been set up, or what we have been able to come up with in such a short space of time.
So what's the
Yes.
thing that stood out, like that surprised you or impressed you the most about the setup?
They wow, where the whole thing, the first day I was like, shit, this is how the hell did people come up with this in such a short space, and it's so well executed. Damn impressed with how we did it. Actually, I'm quite proud. It made me feel really proud to be part of this whole undertaking. Yeah.
Singapore #1, man.
Number one.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time I went back to work today. I got an exemption to go back to clear out like stuff in my office, and I was looking at the stuff around us, the trains. Like, I'm like, how you manufacture the sticker so fast, to paste on all the seats, to paste on the floor and everything. Damn bloody efficient, no.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
mean, I was really amazed by it.
Yeah.
Like you would come up with all these things to just immediately deal with the situation. That's pretty damn impressive, man. How we're
There's
handling
a
the-
company that's on standby like 24/7 throughout the decade. That's just waiting for an order like that.
Right,
Just
right, exactly, man.
when it happens, okay, let's get everything together, man. Let's get our orders done. The moment we've all been waiting for, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of Singapore, right? It feels good that we're responding this way. And then on the flip side, you have, Americans shouting on the streets, "I want somebody to spit in my face."
Oh my god.
like
Like
that.
how
Oh my god.
stupid. Like I don't know, man.
Like, what, dude, bruh? What the? Yeah, man. I don't
Common
know,
sense. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Maybe you can buy some at Walmart in bulk.
I had to stop following some of my American friends on Facebook because some of them are pro.
Are they right?
Did-
Are they right wing?
Yeah. Wait, isn't this left like super left?
Oh, is it?
I
Don't know
don't
what
know,
wing lah. You also don't know. It's the
Chicken
one.
wing lah, this one I don't know lah. I mean, they're so far left that they are, oh, this is my right to freely roam. You can't keep me in my house and all that. God damn it! Like flip on the history channel. Okay, don't lah, because then you'll be bombarded with aliens and Egyptian pyramids. But flip on some documentary.
Ancient aliens, man.
But yeah, flip on some documentaries and you'll realize that this is how the fucking pandemic spreads. You know, like in back when we were looking at the H1N1 viruses, one of the first things and the best things that you can do is, you know, to quarantine, to cut down the amount of people coming together to interact, especially something as horrifying as corona, because you don't know who's carrying it. People look normal, you just feel like you have a sore throat, but yeah, you could actually be carrying the virus.
I had to stop reading all those. It just
Yeah. Then you have Trump asking whether we can inject disinfectant into the body. Like, okay, it's not something a president should say.
you know.
Yeah, dude, Lysol, as metal as it sounds, you know, Lysol in the veins, right? Nah, man, dude, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
He gets pissed
Yeah.
off people are just like in horror of what he had said.
Right.
Do you see the scientist's reaction? There was a video as he was saying it, and then they were filming this scientist, and then she was just like, she didn't know where to look, man. It's just like, what is this fucker talking about?
Yeah. It's like I wanna face palm so hard, man, but I cannot touch my
I
face.
can't. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to. Yeah. I mean, okay, then you have that, and I mean, Singapore has their own version of this kind of people. You know, those that
Yep.
start flaming people online, certain
Yeah.
ethnic groups, like why are the foreign workers the one with such high numbers? Yeah,
Yeah,
there's just
and-
so many examples of that.
Yeah, man, some Singaporeans, what the hell, man?
And just a handful of them. Majority of us are actually fucking nice people. So all
But
these
some of
comments,
them-
you gotta just filter them out. It's just people looking for reasons to have more likes or some
Yeah, yeah.
argument.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know what
that's
the
true, that's true.
motivation is, you know. It's like maybe they know better and they just want some attention. Or
Yeah.
is it ingrained deep in their bones that they are thinking like that?
Yeah, like, is it a form of, you know, a systemic racism going on here, or something like that?
Yeah, maybe they were
Like-
dropped as babies or something, you know.
On the head multiple times. I swear, there's this one comment, I was laughing my ass off. It was on ST comments, right? And this guy William Chu, he was saying, sometimes I wonder why the figures for dormitory workers are so high. Is it something to do with their mentality? I am sorry to suspect, but could some of the foreign workers has intentions of getting infected purposely so as to achieve other benefits? No need to work, etc. I'm not sure, just thinking. Hey, cock, you really thinking or not?
Idiot! That guy is the one with mental issues, lah.
That's why I don't know what some of these people.
It's like for him to have thought of that, right? to have emerged from his imagination, it would be something that he would do, right?
Yeah,
He
this is the talking guy
Yeah.
in army.
is the first one to point the finger, right? Because you're the one doing it.
No foreign worker want to be there in the hall.
Exactly, right?
Nobody.
Yeah,
I can
who
take
would choose getting
Some-
stuck and being
And
at
risking their
risk?
lives, potentially dying.
One of
right?
them. One of them told us, there is no sun, and just like there's no sun in this hall, and that kind of hit home for me
Oh,
because
damn.
it's true. There is no sun. They have artificial lighting. There's no sun.
Crazy. Yeah, I think especially for you, it might have hit home for you because you know you are a dive instructor, you are outdoors, and just
Yeah.
under the sun, the whole.
Okay, I lost my color. I'm light brown now. Light brown. No, but the people there, the foreign workers, definitely don't want to be there. But they're also one of the nicest people. They're the easiest patients to take care of.
But I bet Singaporeans are way more difficult to deal with than the foreign workers. Yeah.
No lah.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
No lah.
Our
Okay,
our entitlement is strong.
I'll say this phrase. I learned this in my
Okay.
previous hospital. It says we should treat our patients like we would our mothers. So it doesn't really matter who.
Wow.
Or
Don't be
where
mother.
who or where they're
mother.
from. We'll just provide the best care that we can for every patient. Who's up?
Okay, I mean, there's Shah being nice and all nursey on
That's
us.
why you
it's,
are
you
the
know.
nurse. We are not.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm there, I think I bitch slap all of them already.
I mean, do you all see that article on Mothership about the okay, it's called No One at the Medical Station. Singaporean COVID-19 patient opens up about 4 days stay at Expo facility. I believe there's even a video to this one. So basically, it just goes about this guy talking about his experience in Expo. I would rephrase that, not talking about, complaining about his entire experience at the Expo. Yeah, he talks about the food. Wow, this one, professional food critic. Let's see what does he have to say.
Yeah, actually, I saw through.
Sometimes I
I
find
watched
it
through
good.
the video. Right, it
Yeah.
was his tone really.
Uh-huh.
His tone wasn't complaining. He was more
Okay.
of
Yeah.
actually just describing what the situation is. Yeah, I don't know if
Mm.
it's because of Mothership
the
trying to sensationalize the thing and put
It's
a
the same one.
very complaining thing.
Could
But
be. Could be.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean.
When he was talking about it, his
Right.
tone was like, just describing I think out of sheer boredom because there's
Okay.
nothing to do
Okay.
there. He's
Okay.
he's just describing it to the interviewer. At least that's what
Right.
I
Right.
took away from it, lah.
Okay, I think that's a more accurate representation lah, because I only read the article, and the tone doesn't quite translate here lah.
Right.
So yeah, they mention things about he says that the stir fried food is overdone. Western food is not bad. Okay, that one I agree lah. Even in army, right, Western food is always the the better one.
You can't screw it up.
Yeah, can't screw it up. But towards the end of the interview, they mention like this part's quite funny actually. He mentions, I'm actually being sent back to SGH now. Then the interviewer's like, oh, your condition worsened? No idea. I was told to pack my bags and the ambulance will pick me up. And then the interviewer is like, is it because you told MOH about your fever? And then he's like, perhaps. Maybe also because he make the most noise, then kena send back to SGH.
And then he was never heard from again.
Oh.
Some Chinese level silencing right there.
Yeah, black bag over the head. Maybe because he gave an interview about this thing.
Drama
Right? He
lah,
wasn't
no lah.
careful.
Yeah. Shah, you
wasn't
better be
careful what
careful.
he said.
Later,
Yeah, Shah.
next week we call you, cannot reach you. Then we ask your parents, they also don't know where you go.
What is really going on at Expo? Are they experimenting? Okay, let's cut back the bullshit.
So how are they as patients, the foreign workers? Are they different from the usual patients you get?
They follow what we say. They have questions they ask. They genuinely want to take care of themselves, or
They need to get back on the job and make money so they can send back to their family and build a life that they can go back to,
Yeah, man.
instead of being treated like dirt by
Yes.
some people here.
Yeah.
They are such nice people. Yeah, they're really, really nice. Every time I have to visit, go and see someone to check their vital signs or something. They don't make a fuss. They just let me do everything that I need, and then they say thank you. They ask how, and then they
Right.
If they don't annoy me at all, these people here, how I feel motivated to take care of them. That's what I would say. It's a nice feeling, and everyone just comes together.
They actually are
Yes.
grateful, right?
Yeah, they are. They got one come and ask, no curry, no curry.
Dude, I will ask the same damn thing also. Where's my prata, man? I need the prata.
They have much nicer food than us in the outside. Where for us, no, cannot. That's complaining. But no, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It's just like when I
It's
see what
feedback.
they get to eat, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's feedback.
It's feedback.
No lah, not complaining. I don't care.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of like these racist comments towards our foreign workers and all that, we've been picked up by international media, man, and they are slamming us left, right, center. Talking about
You know what is good about this incident is
right,
that now that all of us are aware the living conditions of the foreign workers, we are the government, I'm sure, is definitely going to make a change in that area, in that aspect. So would
right,
you call
right.
that like a blessing in disguise that so many of them got this virus, so that in the
Mm,
future others can benefit from this?
right, the
Yeah.
silver lining.
Yeah, it's the silver lining in the thing.
Yeah, I think it is to some extent. I guess Singaporeans need to calm themselves down a bit and check themselves before they get too racial about things, right? Throwing up these things, like there were some ST comments also about, oh, they are spreading the virus because they do dirty things like eat with their hands,
They like to
sit
sit down
under
under the tree
ah
and gather
yeah, sit
together.
on the grass and eat together. Like, what the fuck, man?
Like you sit in botanical gardens on the grass and fucking picnic. It's the same thing, what?
Yeah lah, exactly, man. Right. Also, these people have been doing this for their entire life, right? You don't think they wash hands before eating the food with their hands, right? And yeah, no, I remember one of the comments in response to that. Then how come the virus spread so fast in China? Everybody using chopsticks. Right?
Uh-oh.
That one I was laughing my ass off. Cannot. I mean, I'm sick of
A
hearing
chopstick
how
don't know put
people.
where before put in the mouth.
That's why this one. I'm sick of hearing like stuff like that. We all know the real reason why it spread so fast in the dormitories, right? I mean, it's the living conditions, how packed they are, how close, how close their quarters are to each other,
And even
and
access to face masks
yeah,
that early in the thing.
exactly,
When everyone, all the people who can get face masks, they start hoarding it. Some people want to turn a
exactly,
profit. The foreign workers are working long hours out in the field, out in the not field lah, but like construction yard.
it's construction sites and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no way for them to go out and get all these things.
essentials.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so you can't really blame them for not wearing it in the
exactly.
dormitories as well.
And can you imagine, right, if one forward-thinking minister just stepped up and said, oh, okay, we're going to prep a whole bunch of masks and distribute it to the foreign workers right now because they are the ones most in danger, right? Can you imagine the backlash that guy would have had from all the Singaporeans? Why are you giving the foreign workers, then you never give Singaporeans, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I feel even if we were, preemptive enough to just realized that this was something that was going to happen, this was potentially where it could spread really quickly. Even if we came up with that, I still think we would have gotten a shit ton of backlash from Singaporeans. Some not all,
Right.
but some.
I think quite a small. I would like to think it's a small number of them lah,
Same lah. I
whose
mean,
voice gets kind of amplified over the internet. That's why it
yes,
seems like there's more
that.
than this.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we're seeing so many articles, calling us racist, and how we're treating we're treating them horribly and stuff like that. It is blown up, but it is not, you know, it's not to say that it's not true either. Also, I mean, there are some serious problems within our society. Back when I was in JC, Shah, I don't know whether you remember this or not, but in Meridian JC, there was this program where they invited a charitable organization over, one that deals with foreign workers who have been mistreated. And the goal was to do some busking for them and, raise funds and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it was part of the, our CIP and VIA, whatever you call it now lah. Yeah, it was meant to help them, and that shit opened my eyes. Like, I never knew it was that bad. how some of these workers were treated, the employers, some of the assholes in our society, holding back their pay, treating them like shit. Even like when they get injuries on site, they would threaten them and say, "Oh, we're gonna send you back if you report this injury," and things like that. So they had to work with broken fingers and shit like that.
Work
Right,
with
so-
broken fingers.
Yeah, dude, it's that fucked up, man. Like that shit blew my mind. I was like, holy fuck. Like, is it that bad? I mean, of course, again, it's not. I think the estimate is that we have 1.4 million foreign workers here,
Mhm.
including aside from construction, even cleaners and stuff like that. Right? If it's at 1.4 million, I mean, obviously, there's not a large majority of it that are facing this thing, lah. But yeah, it's still an issue, right? It's a problem. There was a short film that was recently released. I need to find that now. The title was, I think it was called Him, and it was about foreign workers. I even posted it on the KONGJIAOWEY
In Singapore.
Facebook page.
Right.
Yeah, it was a local film, local short film, and it basically highlighted the issues that some of these workers. It's a very touching story. It's a Bangladeshi worker taking a phone call from his son, and then he's just talking about it, and yeah, it's a really really beautiful short film. It's called it's called Him. The producer is Han Kwangwei, and it's by 360 Productions. If you haven't checked it out, you should really check out this film.
Not
But yeah,
369 production.
No, that one cannot. No. Yeah, but yeah, it's a really poignant short film. Definitely go check it out. Yeah.
And I just also, I know we were talking about the foreign workers in the hall, but I think
Right.
a lot of credit must be given to what the management has or MOH has done to support the foreign liners while we are doing this job. It's
Foreign?
also
Foreign. The
I feel
foreign
like-
what?
what the management has done to support frontliners while we are on
Frontliners.
Oh, yeah, I heard foreign diners, and I'm like, apa foreign diner come in? What?
They fly people in to eat? What?
Yeah, that's why it shocks, yeah. Okay, yeah, the frontliners, right? Yeah. So talk more about that. How are they supported, the frontliners or the foreign diners?
I think a lot of attention has been paid to taking care of the foreign workers, but I want to also highlight that a lot of things have been done for us frontliners when we are working in the front lines. And it comes down to the management and the MOH. They really want to take care of us while we're doing this. Very minor things, but really helps us feel like
Safe, right?
Right.
comfortable. They give us a lot of comfort
It's
so
like
that when we
comfort
go in, we
factor
are-
for you to
Yeah.
work longer and
Some-
support the whole thing, right?
so we don't have to worry about the outside things, and we can just fully focus on
Right.
what's
Making
happening,
sure
what's-
you're
what's
focused
right.
on your work lah.
so
Where you say to apply again, I might be jumping ship already.
must really thank my bosses and the MOH or whoever is in charge of this whole operation. It's to make us feel comfortable. That's the thing that I want to impress upon.
Right.
They do take care of the foreigners as well as us.
Nice.
So we do a better job taking care of the foreigners.
Nice.
I
Yeah, I don't
really-
think people are aware of like the level of planning and coordination that goes into
Correct.
pulling off
What-
something like that.
Yeah, to executing something on this level,
Mhm. Yeah,
It's-
I think this is where the paper journal come in, right? They are so used to planning military stuff that I think all these planning, this coordination comes very natural to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say as much shit as we want about them running private organization and turning a profit, but I think when push comes to shove, when lives are at stake and
doing
things
our
need to be coordinated, they have their
They
shit
get
together.
shit done, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We do.
Yeah.
We should be the country. I think we're like probably the only country that gets shit done.
Nice. I feel so proud right now. I'm going to go and sing home outside my window. Give me a second.
Give me my flashlight.
Yeah, give me my flashlight, man. we like the idea of throwing our phones out the window. Do you all see that video? The person sing until the phone dropped down.
Yeah,
really?
I saw that video. Yeah, two and
it
two
was-
already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been. That's why damn sad.
Never mind, the
And I think-
$600 credit can go and buy a new one.
I think the
don't
person.
I
I think the person recording the phone dropping was a Malay. I think I heard in the back, "Alamak jatuh," and then the phone just came all the way down.
but the phone didn't drop.
I know it was like from an opposite HDB block, so
Oh, funny,
you know,
Shah.
they were just filming it, and you could hear somebody screaming at the top of their lungs as the minute that light went down. If that person listens to this podcast, we would love to have you on the podcast. What
To talk
happened to your
about the-
phone?
The harrowing tale of dropping your phone down from how many
Yeah, while
floors?
singing home at 8 p.m.
Yeah, so that has been part 1 of 2, the 3rd episode. I hope you enjoy it. Macam like 2-piece chicken meal like that. Called the first piece.
Yeah,
second
sure.
piece.
We're giving you a treat, okay? 2-piece special. So the next part, yeah, is gonna be more into the race stuff, and also if you want to find out more about the polarizing comments on this whole singing home at 8 o'clock, join us in the second part.
See ya.
Bye.